Good morning, everyone. Great to see you here this morning. Come on in. Grab a seat. I'll start with one prediction and one promise. My prediction is this is going to be a great day. You're going to get a lot out of today, and I will too, because I'll be learning from you. And my promise is that if you will give me your attention and give me a strong hour of your time, I promise I will give you a strong hour of my time and what I have to share with you today. Now, just for the sake of clarity, my understanding is you are all aspiring entrepreneurs looking over industries and businesses within industries in which to pursue for yourself as a business. Is that correct? Please raise your hand if that's correct. Great. Because I've got 4 key elements that I want you to take in consideration as you look over your landscape of possibilities. 4 key elements that will play an important part on you having ultimate success or not. Now, do all 4 of these elements need to be abundantly present for you to have success? No. But just knowing these and using them as a backdrop in which to silhouette your business that you're considering will put you light years ahead of other people. Light years ahead. Now, my name is Gary Fitchett, and these 4 elements are things I took in consideration that I've learned over the course of really years. And the great thing about training is you're going to pick all this up in the next hour, which took somebody else years to learn. That's a great deal, isn't it? That's a great deal. The 4 elements are these. The first one is you want to be in huge and growing markets. Let me ask you a question. If you were the very best in the world at producing audio cassette players, would it matter? No. You see, you can be the very best in the world, but if you're in an industry that's in steep decline, it's hard to do well in that industry. You want to be in huge and growing markets. You don't want to be going after a small piece of an ever-shrinking pie in whatever business you go into. You don't want to be a small niche player in a small niche market. It's usually just not enough money in it to go around. You want to be in huge and growing markets. Now, who's heard of Peter Drucker? Please raise your hand if you've heard of Peter Drucker. Who's Peter Drucker? Business professor, author, business guru, he's been known to be. Peter Drucker says this, that growth magnifies and multiplies opportunities. I'll repeat that. Growth magnifies and multiplies opportunities. And my business career has been emblematic of this phenomenon. Just to give you a quick thumbnail review of my history, I started out in the business world as an assistant manager in a large chain of pizza stores. I was in charge of a half a store. 5 years later, I found myself to be in charge of 550 of their stores. Now, I don't tell you that to impress you, but to impress upon you that that happened, not because I was such a strong business manager. I was good and trying to get better. I'll give you that and give myself that. But it really happened because I was in a huge and growing market. We were opening 500, 600 stores a year. One year we opened over 900 pizza stores in a year. That's 1 every 8 hours. And if you can't do well in an environment like that, you almost have to be asleep not to do well in an environment like that. So you want to be in huge and growing markets. Because remember, whatever industry you go into, whatever business you choose, if a competitor comes into the marketplace, they're going to get a piece of the business. Even if they're bad at it, they're going to get a piece of the business. But if the industry is growing and all the current players are running as hard as they can run and they can't keep up with the business, then opportunity abounds for all. Okay, number 1, be in huge and growing markets. Does this make sense? Does that just make sense? Okay, number 2, you want to sell unique and consumable products. You want to be in a business where you sell unique and consumable products. And I'll talk about uniqueness first. Bill, let me ask you, where do you buy your gas? Yeah, just give me the name of the other place. Just throw it out. 7-Eleven. Now, I'm willing to bet, Bill, that this 7-Eleven, relatively speaking, the gas is inexpensive, relatively speaking, and is convenient to where you live. Am I right or wrong? See, if you don't have a unique product, you compete on price and convenience. Where do we buy our gas? Whatever's cheapest and whatever's closest. But if you have a unique product, then the customer has to come to you for that product. Now, I was in the sandwich business for over 10 years, and what's unique about sandwiches? Well, our sandwiches, we used cheese-infused breads. We toasted the sandwich through an oven that melted the cheeses and brought out the flavors. We used unique dressings, much different than just your mustard or your mayonnaise. We used honey bourbon sauce and zesty grill sauce. And it created a flavor profile that was a little bit more grown up for people, a little bit more cutting edge. And once you had that sandwich, in about a week to 10 days, you had a craving for that sandwich again. And to get it, you had to come to our place of business to buy that sandwich because we had a unique product. So you want to sell unique products. Let's talk about consumable. If you're going into a business, what does having a consumable product do for you? When you have a consumable product, you have the real chance to be paid multiple times on a single marketing opportunity. Now think about that for a minute. Think about that with me. You have the chance, when you have a consumable product, to be paid multiple times on a single marketing opportunity. And I'll give you an example, again, from my background. I was in, as I mentioned before, the sandwich business, and we sold sandwich franchises. And once those sandwich franchises were sold, we helped them get the store constructed and find sites, get the store constructed, and open the store. And I would go out just to learn about the local marketplace with menus in hand, walk into a place with a big smile on my face saying, hey, just want to let you know about a new lunch and dinner place right down the street. Here's some information about us. Here's their menu. Come by, give us a try. I think you'll be impressed. And if they were to come by that place of business and go visit that entrepreneur and they like the product, service, and image in that store, and always remember, when you are an entrepreneur, that's what you're selling to the customer. That's what they're enthused about or not enthused about is your product, service, and image. And if this customer came into our place of business and liked and enjoyed our product, they may come back again and again, weekly, every other week, once a month for the next 5 years. And that entrepreneur had the chance to be paid multiple times on my one single marketing opportunity.